everyone and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to look at two fine looking torches from Wuben. This is the model called G5. Wuben very kindly reached out to me and asked me to do an honest review of these two flashlights. All of the findings and opinions in this review are purely my own and will therefore be totally unbiased. The two flashlights came well packaged in some very secure cardboard boxes, which were in turn encased in a plastic bag, so therefore the retail experience so far was quite reassuring, which is a good thing because it's telling me that Wuben actually want the products to arrive in one piece. I thought that Wuben had actually sent me the same colour because the designs on the front of the box are exactly the same as each other. However, that wasn't the case because as you look underneath the box, it tells you which colour that box pertains to. It never ceases to amaze me how little manufacturers pay attention to the retail experience, which includes unboxing. So far, the experience when dealing with this product has been excellent. This is further backed up by a pleasant little message on the cardboard box saying thank you. Included within the box is a lovely wrist strap, a USB charging cable, and of course the instructional booklet. The instructions are clearly laid out and easy to follow. They are not only in colour but often in different languages, so a little something for everyone. The flashlight I'm going to showcase in this video is the army green. A little bit later I'll show you the black version so you can compare the two. Initial impressions are good and it feels solid in the hand. There are many facets to this flashlight. Let's start with the clip first. The clip is made of metal and can be left in this position here, or by pulling it outwards you can slide it to the front or to the rear. This is particularly handy depending on the type of clothing you're wearing or where you wish to clip it, or indeed your intended use. Talking of intended use, I'm going to attach this to one of my caps. It's advisable you attach it to a peak that's rigid such as this one, or you might find yourself just lighting up the floor at your feet, then tilt the top of the light so it points to roughly where you wish it to be. The multi-directional clip certainly gives it an EDC pedigree. An extremely useful and unique feature of the G5 is that you can twist the top of the light, and this can be rotated 180 degrees if needed, therefore giving you many options as to where you want the light pointed. This is particularly handy if you have it attached to your cap, for example, or a shirt pocket. As you look around, there is a multi-function slide switch. This gives you the choice of leaving the torch in lock mode so you don't inadvertently switch the thing on. The next position up allows you to have access to the flashlight's functions. With one press of the button accesses the light. The intensity of the light can be manually adjusted with a little round dial. Pressing the button again switches the light off. In the off position, by pressing and holding, gives you the charge indicator light, which in this case is flashing blue. This signifies roughly about a 90% charge. This indicator light flashes for around 5 seconds, then automatically switches off. Starting with the lowest light setting, you notice close up it's actually quite bright, even in this studio. And if you suddenly want a massive throw of light to 400 lumens, just double press it. The G5 has a memory function, so if you switch it off from this turbo mode and then reset the torch or switch it back on, it remembers the dim setting you had originally. That of course also applies to any other light intensity you had it on before. The G5 also offers 3 RGB light flashing combinations, and this can be started up by double pressing the on-off button. This is red and blue, which certainly looks like an emergency light. Double pressing again moves it to red and green. This is also very clear. And this is red and yellow. To my mind, this doesn't look as definite as the other two combinations. No doubt there will be one combination that will suit someone at some point. Talking of someone at some point, you can actually customize the lights even further. Press and hold the on-off switch until you get the charging flashing light and then press it immediately. From this point, you can rotate the dial and go through different color settings. There are quite a few to go through here, so just keep turning the dial until you get to the desired color you fancy, whether it be yellow, green, blue, aqua, red, or even purple. Whichever colour you decide on, you just double press the button again and it goes to flashing mode. The G5 will also remember the last colour you chose, so if you wish to keep that, it will remain as that until you keep double pressing to go back to normal flashing mode. By pushing the slide switch up a bit further, you get access to the charging port, which is USB-C. A good feature about this is that the switch itself covers the port, therefore stopping any ingress of dirt, or indeed reducing the probability of water getting in. The flashlight has an IP68 rating, which means that if you submerge it in water, you can go to a depth of 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. I'm assuming that the information that Wuben is providing is correct and that I don't need to test this out for myself. The G5 also has a drop resistant rating of 1 meter, so tough enough to be an EDC. Now to the dimensions. The G5 weighs precisely 52 grams, which is extremely light given that it's made of metal, and is 37.26 millimeters wide, and at its longest point is 61.82 millimeters long. The depth of the G5 is a very tiny 12.96 millimeters. The charging cable is about 8 inches long, which equates to about 21 centimeters. The G5 has a small magnet attached to its base, and is strong enough to allow it to hold its own weight, as you can see here as I'm demonstrating it attaching itself to my metal caliper. I presume the magnet had to be small because it's such a small flashlight and therefore keeping the weight down. Under extreme vibration or impact, I can imagine that the G5 will dislodge itself. Just see the magnet as a handy feature as opposed to something you need to rely on. As mentioned previously, the G5 has a little wrist strap that can be attached at the base and offers extra security when handling the G5. The G5 is also available in black and gives the flashlight a nondescript yet professional look. Or indeed, if you're anything like me, you must have both, or if they do any other colours, probably collect those as well. At the time of making and editing this video, Wuben actually were offering a special anniversary edition of this torch, but this time in white. If you go to the Wuben official store, you'll see all the colour variations that are available to you. Link in the description below. Wuben quite often have special deals or offers, so it's worth keeping a lookout whenever you can. Wuben have very kindly offered me a code with which to share to you guys so you can get further discount. The link to the code is also in the description below. I would also recommend that you try out their Amazon shop. The link to that is also in the description below. Before I go outside with these torches, I'm going to charge them both up so you'll see the whole charging process. Both, it seems, have about 90% charge, and I literally say about because it's only a rough guide. I like the fact that both of these charging cables are a very snug fit, as it reduces the chance of accidentally disconnecting the cables whilst they're charging. The charging indicator light shows red whilst it's charging. It took around 14 minutes for the green flashlight to be able to get its full charge. The black flashlight got to its full charge about 6 minutes later. The first place I'm going to test the G5 is in an alleyway next to where I live, and this is 28 meters long. At 400 lumens, it lights up the area perfectly. Reducing the intensity of the light down to its lowest setting, it's still quite usable, especially at close range. If I change the intensity from the highest down to the lowest, you can see how effective it is. Very usable indeed. Now to the RGB flashing light settings. In pitch black, you'll get a better feel for how effective these light settings are. Certainly quite effective. I paced out about 50 meters in length from the gate ahead of us and played with the intensity settings incrementally just to see what it was like over this distance. The lower setting really didn't help that much looking ahead, but it was certainly good at close range. Moving to the higher settings was certainly very efficient. This next area has a field of about 500 meters long, but there are some trees slightly closer. According to my pacing, they're about 100 meters away. According to Wuben, the torch has a range of just over 80 meters. It might be difficult for you to see, but the torchlight is just touching those trees and they're certainly over 80 meters away. So realistically, I would say the G5 has a range of about 80 to 100 meters, depending on the amount of charge and atmospheric conditions. Now to the pros and cons and my final thoughts about this G5. Before I give my opinions, I just want to say that online I saw some people complaining about this, and I think it's a little bit unfounded. They're saying that you can't hold this like a regular flashlight. Well, it's not a regular flashlight, is it? Look at the shape of it. The G5 is designed in such a way that it's flexible for almost any situation. This is classified as a keychain EDC, therefore it's tiny and small enough to be able to attach it or place it anywhere, especially with the help of the multi-directional clip. Depending on which intensity used will depend on how long the light will last. I managed to get about 45-46 minutes on its high setting. I haven't tested this, but apparently on the lower setting you can get something in the region of 65 hours. From 0 to full charge took around about an hour and a half. Having a choice of colours also adds to that personal appeal, again giving you further options. The G5 comes across as well made and solidly built, and retails for roughly about $25. However, you can get it for a lot less than this if you click on one of the links in my description below, especially if you're using the promo code. Given its size and weight, this packs a big punch. The design of the G5 is both rugged and modern looking, and it appeals to almost anyone. Well, certainly appeals to me. I've always seen Wuben advertised, but I've never tried any of their products until now. So as a first time user, I'm more than pleasantly surprised. The only tiny little negative thing I could find about the G5 is that maybe the magnet is too small, but if the magnet was any larger, it might increase the weight or indeed the size, and that might stop it from being a useful EDC keychain torch, which is what it's designed to be. For performance, build quality and price, I would certainly recommend this as an EDC. I would like to take this opportunity in thanking everyone who supported this little channel. I absolutely love making these videos for everyone, and if you wish to see something else or another item that's similar to what we've looked at already, please let me know in the comments and I'll be very happy to oblige. Remember to like and subscribe. See you again next time.